Yeah, the 86th UCI Downhill World Cup for junior men will be opened up by Anthony Shelly, the young Canadian, followed up by Benny Deval.
Good to see some riders from outside the European continent coming over and making a go at this.
Yeah, on framework spikes as well.
Yeah.
Kasper Hickman for Cube Factory Racing, the Finn, going really well at the minute. Hickman
looks good on the bike.
Yeah.
We say this a lot. Riders emulate their teammates, and he looks like he rides like Max Hartenstern.
He does, doesn't he? He really, really does. And as you say that, you know, Hartenstern, you could see a change in him after he spent those seasons with Danny Hart as well. He tweaked what he was doing slightly. 24 degrees Celsius, I can tell you for free, it's hotter than that. Definitely is in the commentary booth. As we get ready for Anthony Shelly to get us underway here at the junior men's race. UCI Downhill World Cup, round 4, Val di Sole, Trentino. Where else would you be? Underway now for the junior men's. Super aggressive start to the proceedings from Anthony Shelly.
Yeah, this is what we're in for all day, and aggressive riding out of this category.
And those opening couple of turns, Nico, you can see how beaten they are. Shelly just opts to stay inside of that rut, but then has to compromise his exit through there.
Yeah, you've got two options. You either hit the holes or you go inside of them and compromise your line a bit. He chose to go around them. That might pay off by the end of the run, going for a smoother route.
And it's all about saving the hands, saving the arms for this, for what awaits on the Black Snake. This really, really rough, battered, famous downhill hillside. This is the one that they all fear. Shelly riding it almost like a BMX track through there.
Yeah, he is. You saw that gap. He looks really smooth out there.
Oh, junior men's racing. 48 seconds in to split one for Anthony Shelly. And you can see how deep the powder is here. Nico, we were talking about before we came on air, I can't remember a hotter, drier Val di Sole than this. Normally at some point it rains during the week, but not a bit of it this week.
Yeah, the past few years we've had thunderstorms, and there was none of that this week. This is the classic OG Val di Sole, the Dust Bowl we remember.
Yeah, we heard the thunderstorms the last couple of evenings, but they were further down the valley. They didn't really arrive here, and as a result, it's almost like talcum powder up there in places. And we saw in the junior women's race some of the riders taken out by holes and ruts that just fill up with this really powdery, silty. Whenever you even stand in it, it puffs up around your feet and hangs in the air.
Yeah, this track's like 50-50 between machine-built stuff and natural, just raw terrain. Just rake the pine needles off and let them at it. And those sections that are natural, you get 200 of the best riders in the world riding as fast as they can, braking in the same place. It's going to get rough. It's going to get deep holes.
And they have tweaked it slightly this year then, so there are some slightly slower, more accurate sections, would you say?
I'll say slightly slower, maybe. They've added a couple turns. It carries good momentum, but I think the changes are well received by the riders. They're more technical and less flat out.
Shelly hops his way through that route section as we are on board the live drone, giving you an idea of the speed down through here. Oh, that Commensal wanted out from underneath him briefly there. 59.4 kilometers an hour, first rider in the race. First time we've seen the speed trap. Speed's already approaching 60 kilometers an hour here in Val di Sole, Trentino.
And that's not down a ski piste either. That's through the woods and one of the roughest sections of track.
It's been all action from Shelly, hasn't it? He hasn't let off an intensity so far.
He looks really good. And you can see how rough it is just watching this. Like, watch his bike, how much it's moving, how much you can even hear it, how sharp those impacts are when he hits the roots.
And obviously with yourself, with frameworks racing, I mean, this is the ultimate test of a bike, this track, isn't it? If it can do it here, it can do it anywhere.
Absolutely. This is definitely the hardest track. I've almost felt like in years past it's somewhat of an equalizer where everything feels bad on this track. So you see maybe not as much of a huge advantage between equipment, but I think we're catching up to that, and the best bikes are standing out.
Was this one for you? Did you like it down here?
This was always my favorite track. I never had my very best results here, but I was a fan of the technical stuff. The gnarlier it was, the happier I was, and I always look forward to racing Val d'Isole.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is our first run of the day. We are in for an absolute treat of a junior men's race. Anthony Shelly has been superb down here. Gets the Commensal down the line, stops the clock at a 3:59.2. So fastest time from yesterday's quali was 3:42.3 by Max Alran. So those times will fall. Benny Deval next up from Canada.
Benny's had a great season. He's made every final this year, steadily improved at each one as well. He's really taken this opportunity that he has to come over to Europe and race and making the most of it.
2.6 seconds faster at split 4 as well, Benny Deval. So having a good crack at that time of Shelly's.
Really smooth through there too. He hopped kind of inside off that rock and got a straight shot out of the woods of the next turn.
Benny Deval off the big Red Bull drop, then round Sam Hill's left-hander. One corner to go, then over the bridge and across the finish line is Benny Deval. Going to go into the hot seat here, ducks down behind the bar, stays out of the wind, across the line with a 3:55.124, 4 seconds faster than that time of Shelly. So Shelly, we saw more of it, of course, first run of the day. It was all action, but Deval, good run from him. Next up, Nathan Deveau from the UK. First time we've seen him this year on that GT Fury.
Yeah, and he's looked really fast in practice today. I was really impressed seeing him on the course this morning. Excited to see what he can do in his first final.
Deveau riding in GB national jersey. 3.2 seconds back at split 4. Just hops his way through there neatly. He's held stationary the whole way down, which is always a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. You can look back at the sectors and see that your times were equal. Just maybe one mistake in one of those sectors that put you back.
I'm guessing as well, though, Nico, really hard first time out at a UCI World Cup to judge that intensity come the race run.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a huge learning experience. A lot of these riders have done 100 races and they're still getting the ratio right.
Deveau, 3.7 seconds back. So he lost half a second, but right in amongst it the whole way down. Good run that from Nathan Deveau. Should be happy with that one.
Absolutely. Something to build on.
Cooper Northey from Australia leaves the Star Hut on finals day here in Val d'Isole, Trentino. And you know, we talk about it all the time, the riders that make the long trip from America or Australia and New Zealand. He's a 1/10 of a second faster at split 4 as well. This is one of those tracks in Europe that they'll have been lying in bed thinking about.
This is a par 5, that's for sure.
Cooper Northey off the Red Bull drop. He was fastest at the last split. Is he going to manage to hold on to it down the line now? Northey grabs a couple of pedal strokes. You see the cross-country Olympic practice, the bottom of your screen going on ahead of tomorrow, but Northey over the bridge and down across the line. And he's just back by a 1/10 of a second. So it's Deval, Northey, Deveau and Shelly currently. Really, really close race so far, though, Nico. What are you reading into that?
Yeah, I think all these riders, they're at a similar level. It's who can execute a better run. And, yeah, it might have been a bit of give and take between those two riders.
Zach Bradley-Hudson, Team High Country.
Zach Bradley's been looking good out there. He's an aggressive rider for sure.
1.5 seconds back at the 4th split. He was faster through the top, though, so there is time left up there. So that's what that tells us. So, yeah, you can see it's just incrementally drifting away from him by 1/2 second per split, but take absolutely nothing away from him. 1/2 second here in Val d'Isole Trentino. Absolute tiny, tiny amount of time given the severity of the track in front of you. Zach Bradley-Hudson then across the line in 3.1 seconds back. Deval hangs on in the hot seat for now. As we head back to the top for the Estonian Riko Maaeiubo. Maaeiubo's impressed us when we've seen him this season, the Estonian. Really big, long-limbed rider on the Santa Cruz V10.
Santa Cruz had a few of those over the years.
Yeah, they do well for the longer limb gentlemen. 2 seconds up at the fourth split here from the Estonian. Are we about to see Estonia go into the hot seat in Italy? Can you name me the last time that happened in downhill?
Can't. I don't have. That's not on the wall.
that's not pinned up in the commentary booth wall. Maaeiubo crosses the line. 1.4 seconds into the lead with a 3:53. So a reminder, fastest time from yesterday is a 3:42.3.
Cool to see how excited he is. I'm sure this guy's put a lot of work into it, come a long way, and to go into the hot seat, it's all worth it.
That's fuel in the fire, isn't it? Here comes Billy Pugh, though, from the UK for the Waite team.
And he's been looking really strong the past couple races. Let's see him put a good one together today, and I think it'll be a solid time.
He's always great to watch, isn't he, Freestyle Billy?
Looks like he's had a problem out there.
Yeah, 5.2 back at the fourth split. Rattles a pole on the way through. And it can be very little here as well, can't it? You can just clip a rock, you can clip a root somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's so soft. If you stuff it in one of the turns, like he almost did right there, you just lose so much momentum.
Do you remember when Joe Breeden nearly got tangled up in that? And,
yeah, man, it was on.
Phil Atwell as well.
Yep.
He's taken out some big names over the years, that net. Cross the line then, Billy Pugh, 5.9 seconds back.
Well, this guy's got the speed. He's just got to put his best run together. I can see him in practice, and he's always on the gas.
Yeah, always full time on the gas, Billy Pugh. Back to the top for Raoul Schneeberger from Switzerland. Another really tall young rider. Is that an age thing? Are juniors getting taller? Is that just me getting older? Is that what that is? Or?
Maybe we're getting shorter.
Steve Pete's got shorter. He told me earlier in the year he's lost 1.5 inches, he reckons.
It's cool to see how well this Goodman Santa Cruz effort's been going. It's a small team by today's standards, but they've had some really solid results.
Yeah, as always, healing vibes to Nathan Pontviam. That big result earlier in the year in Ludenville. Got badly hurt in Leah Gang. Schneeberger across the line, 1.5 seconds back. But yeah, definitely a team on the up. There's a few of them about. Goodman Santa Cruz definitely in amongst them. Gregorio Arnould, first Italian of the afternoon, will be well supported the whole way down, as you'd expect.
You want to talk about on the gas. The Italians are on the gas in Val di Sole.
Oh, this is a different thing for them altogether, isn't it? Oh, big pull that from Arnould.
They definitely raised their level for this race.
He's within a second here, Arnould, as well, at split 4. Jackson Goldstone as well, massively well supported in Italy. The Italians like what they see with Goldstone.
Yeah, I think around the world probably.
Yeah.
I mean, he's set his mark on this track in years past, so I think I can see why he's well supported.
Yeah, the Italian fans loving the really aggressive riding style of Jackson Goldstone. Arnould crossed the line, second place by a second.
And it's a tight race at the front of this thing.
It's getting really tight now, isn't it? So the fastest time currently a 3:53.7. Oh no, Kasper Hickman. This commentator's curse after us bigging him up earlier in the broadcast as well. Just runs wide. Talk us through it, Nico.
Man, this turn is getting a huge compression in it. It's like got a soft hole at the very top of the berm, and you don't want to go over top of it. So he probably tried to cut inside. You can't see from this angle exactly where his tires were, but he probably tried to avoid that and got pushed off the track.
Oli Clark, the winner of the last round. MS Racing's youngster from New Zealand.
I think a lot of these riders just get into it in that first split.
3.7 at the third split as well. Oli Clark here doing some damage.
He'll be looking to build on that great result last weekend. He's, as we said, aggressive juniors. He's probably leading that charge of aggression.
Yeah, only the third ever rider to win. Oh, just the front end getting away from him. Manages to stab a foot, keeps the bike moving forward. 3.5 seconds at split 4 now. Clark out of shape off that one, but manages, just looks down at the bike. That zeroed bike. Clark became only the third ever rider to win a UCI Downhill World Cup with an internal transmission last time out in Leah Gang.
Was that Greg Menard and Madley he joined?
You got it. And who are they all managed by?
I was on the Honda team with Martin Wiley. He sent us these stats. that one's not on the wall, though.
No, he messaged me that one. I'll give him his due for that one.
I had that one in the memory bank.
Oli Clark down the line, and is he going to go fastest here in Val di Sole in Trentino? He does, 3.8 seconds. Now we are going to see these times start to tumble. Shrugs. Knows that he left time up there, Clark.
For as aggressive a rider as Oli is, he didn't look that aggressive in this run.
Omri Danon then, the young Israeli on the track session. Huge efforts this season to get Omri Danon to all the European rounds, the UCI Downhill World Cup. 3.9 seconds back at split 4 Danon. Hugely entertaining rider to watch.
Yeah, he looks smooth out here today. I think if we didn't see Oli just go and take that time down so far, this would have looked like a really good time.
It shows you how tight the junior men's is getting now that you've got a race winner in Oli Clark that far back in the pack. Danon crosses the line then, 4.1 seconds back for Omri Danon. Slots him into third place for the time being. Paul Alexander Malin then from the USA.
Good to see Alex out here. He and his twin brother both race their first year juniors. Got a lot of support from the Outlaw team. They have a really good crew of young riders in the U.S. And
whoa! Malin unclips.
He hung on to it. He rode the bull.
Oh, rode the bull, didn't he? Thought he was going straight into that tree in front of him, but Malin managed to unclip his left foot. Talk us through it.
Yeah, this is a really technical section. Yeah, he just took the turn and got a little bit more inside than he needed to. I'm being critical, but the line is so narrow there and just got him off balance.
Next up, George Madley, reigning UK national title holder on that Atherton.
Now, of all the juniors we've just seen, and I've said how aggressive the junior is, George is one of the more precise riders. He's really clean on the bike. He's one of those guys that it doesn't look like he's going fast, and the time's always good.
Yeah, he's a great wee pilot to watch, isn't he? We're seeing he's right in amongst this fastest time with Clark's as well. He's been going back and forth pretty much the whole run. He's into the red at split 4, but only by a 1/10 of a second, so Madley could be headed for the hot seat here. That pole rattled once more. So 2 gearbox bikes vying for the hot seat here in Italy. Madley really nicely through that corner, just nice and smooth.
You can see how well the gearboxes are working on this track. It's the roughest track, and you can see them coming into their own.
Keeping that weight down low. Madley crosses the line. Second place now. 9/10 of a second off the race leading time of Clark, which is still 7 seconds outside the fastest qualifying time from yesterday. Here's another Malin. It's Luke Anthony this time, twin brother.
Yeah, and both these guys, as we just said, aggressive juniors. These guys are definitely aggressive. If they could ride every section at their limit, it would be a really good time. I just think they got to gain that experience to be consistent through the whole run.
It's a big if, isn't it? 1.7 seconds back. Haven't been in the green at the first split for Luke Anthony Malin, so the aggression's certainly there. 5 to go after this, man. Yeah, 2.9 back now on that time of Oli Clark, 56.5 kilometers an hour. That speed of Anthony Shelly, 59 through there, and the first rider out of the traps is held up.
Yeah, you kind of carry it all the way. When we saw Luke's brother, Alex, where we had that bobble, that carries you all the way to the speed trap. So if you hit that well, that'll give you a high average speed, or a high max speed.
Luke Anthony Malin plowing his way across there. He really neatly done through that right-hander, and it's such a crazy track. You know, it's so rough to the naked eye, but the best in the world, they find a rhythm in there, don't they? They find a groove. 2.3 seconds back. The 4th split for Luke Anthony Malin.
Yeah, he looks really solid on the bike. I think he'll be happy with this one.
What could have been without that issue? Slightly though, Nico.
Yeah, of course. They don't do every World Cup, so you know, it's a big effort from people coming from overseas to do them. So the ones they do, getting a good result like he's coming into here, has got to be a good feeling.
Just hearing as well, see Malin going into third place. Oli Clark apparently very ill last week in Schladming with a stomach bug, so maybe down on par. But one man who is definitely not down on horsepower, Tyler Waite.
These Yeti boys they're going for it. They look aggressive out there in practice.
What do they feed this lot? Like, it has to be some kind of ultra red meat of some kind. 2.7 seconds now at the second split for Tyler Waite.
Big triple right there. One of the only riders pulling that. I don't know where Yeti finds these fast riders from the Southern Hemisphere, but they've had a way of doing that the past few years.
3.4 seconds faster than Clark now. Tyler Waite has been up in amongst it all year long.
And he took the outside line there. One of the only riders we saw do that. The inside just getting blown out. So riders that are able to adapt on race day, maybe change their line last minute as this is getting the holes are getting as deep as they ever have been. It may pay off for him if he can be creative like that. 2
second places and a 5th place to his name so far in 2025. Tyler Waite desperately wants to get a win in the first half of this season. Really nicely through there. Bends himself around that course marking pole. On that Yeti prototype bike.
That's a huge margin, 4.3, man.
4.3, it's split 4 for Tyler Waite. That is a big, big margin. Are we going to see that qualifying time of Max Alran challenged here by the Yeti Vaux rider?
And not just that, but the elite qualifying time as well.
Here comes Tyler Waite then. Just a couple of corners to go. Finds a big hole in the entry into that one. Looked absolutely incredibly fast through that left-hander. Heads down towards the bridge. Tyler Waite heading for the finish line. Crosses it and goes fastest by 5.17. 3:44. Damien Smith and Amanda nodding on there from Yeti. Still outside that quali time. As we head back to the top for Waite's teammate, the two of these guys welded together as always through qualifying. Jonty Williamson, another fast Kiwi, running the turquoise of Yeti Vaux. Nico Mullally has exited the commentary booth to go and do his day job. Jonty Williamson, oh, it all falls apart for him once more in a race run. It's up and moving quite quickly, but just watch the front end here. Just let go off that rock, leaving him very little options. Managed to save it nicely, held on to the bars. There's Clark and Madley. Tyler Waite yet to hit the hot seat. As we head back to the top for the man that Nico has gone to await in the finish bowl, Asa Vermette for Frameworks Racing 5 Dev. Leaves the start hut here in Val di Sole. Vermette still yet to notch a win in 2025. 10th, 5th and 3rd so far this year for the UCI World Champion. Wants to right that today here in Val di Sole. Vermette gets to work in the trees now. Second here in 2024. This absolutely ferocious Italian hillside. There he is. He got down there fast. There's a lot of ladders involved in getting up to this commentary booth. Absolutely detonates that right-hander, Vermette. 0.8 of a second back at sector 1. Nico Mullally looking on, inscrutable as ever. As Vermette tips into this slightly tweaked section now, you have to be so accurate cutting across underneath that tree. And these turns that are out in the open. 2 to go after him. The Alran brothers, Till and Max. Max Alran has been absolutely electric here all week long and will take some beating. Vermette, though, is still in touch here. He's within a second of the current hot seat time of Tyler Waite, which is still outside the qualifying time set by Max Alran yesterday, which was right up there with Jackson Goldstone's time in the elite category. Gives you an idea of how hard he was pushing. Fastest sector times, look at that. Wait. And then Williamson, after a crash in the middle of his run, absolutely smashed that final sector. It's all turquoise in the sector times so far. What can Vermette do about that? Asa Vermette, 63.3 kilometers an hour through there. He's found half a second, but he's still in the red here, Vermette. 0.3 of a second back at split free. Top 5 currently: Waite, Clark, Madley, Williamson, Mallon. Massive bang there. Just wonder if maybe a tire's let go or he just moved a rock. Seems to be keeping good pace though, Vermette. And he's 0.3 of a second faster now at split 4. Asa Vermette is faster here in Val di Sole Trentino. That time of Tyler Waite in serious jeopardy now. Vermette has got to work between 3 and 4, and he's found over half a second. Vermette out into the open, off the Red Bull drop, lands it really, really deep. Nicely done around the left-hander. Heading down towards the line, Mullally smiles on. Here comes Asa Vermette. Is he headed for the hot seat in Val di Sole Trentino? Goes fastest by nearly 0.9 of a second, Vermette. 3:43. Yeah, he's got something slow up there, he seemed to suggest. We didn't see it from this commentary booth. Till Alran next up for Commensal muck-off by Riding Addiction. They've been in the wars this week. Nicole's missing, Piron's missing. 1.2 seconds faster at split 1 for Till Alran now. Alran, 1.2 seconds faster at split 1. One and a half now. He's found another 0.3 in between those splits. Really neatly done through there. Alran looking for his first UCI Downhill World Cup win. 1.5 seconds at the second split. What can Alran do about that fastest time off Asa Vermette? 3:43.7 to beat. 3:42.3, the fastest time of his brother yesterday. 1.6 seconds back now. Oh, sorry, ahead. Alran is bailed in, just unclipped there, manages to somehow get away with that. Till Alran, 3:44.3 yesterday in qualifying. Alran 1.4 seconds now, so that lost him only 0.2 of a second. The Ruffin brothers looking on at the bottom. See Dylan Maples, Loris Vergier in action later on for them in the elite men's race. Meanwhile, though, Till Alran has been green the whole way through this run. Lands really, really deep. Hooks that corner up beautifully. heads towards the line. Is this going to be the run that wins him his first ever UCI Downhill World Cup? Till Alran crosses the line with a 3:42.095, 1.6 seconds faster than the hot seat time of Tyler Waite, and crucially, faster, the first man to go faster than that qualifying time set by his brother, the last man at the top of the hill from yesterday's qualifying session. Max Commensal congratulates him. Faster than Jackson Goldstone yesterday, that time from Till Alran. Meanwhile, back at the top, there's one rider left, and it's the man in green, his brother, Max Alran, for Commensal muck-off by riding addiction, leaves the star hut. Alran, he's 0.3 of a second faster already into the green at the first time of asking at split one. Alran heading towards split two. What's it going to tell us? 0.06 of a second faster than his brother Till. It's looking good so far for Max Alran. Shouts of Allez Max from the side of the track. A first, a third, and a second. So far, Alran. Had to cede second place last time. Oli Clark taking the win. Clark unwell in the build up to this one. Is still sitting in fourth currently. 1.2 seconds back, so that was a big mistake. We just caught a glimpse off there from Alran. Looked like he just pushed the bike wide across the road. And are we going to see Till Alran take his debut win? Or can his brother Max pull this one back? It's a lot to ask, 1.2 seconds. I just heard the on-site announcer there say it still would be enough for second place this if the margin stayed the same, but he's brought it back to 0.4 of a second now. Surely 1.2 seconds is too big a swing of a time gap. Max Alran dares to differ. Is he about to pip his own brother? Here in Val di Sole, Trentino, fastest sector times are all Alran. Max and Till trading them left, right and centre throughout their runs. Here comes Max though, down to the line. Stands on the pedals. One more jump to go. Maximum attack. Max Alran power wheelies his way across the line and goes second by half a second, which means his brother Till Alran finally gets his first UCI Downhill World Cup win. Commensal muck-off by riding addiction. Have another UCI Downhill World Cup winner in the stable. Till Alran beats his brother Max Alran. Asa Vermette is in third place. Max Commensal liking what he sees as ever. Till Alran's first win. You get the sense doesn't quite know what to do with himself down there. But there it is, confirmed your winner, Till Alran. Gets his maiden victory. And here's how he did it. Well, if Max rides like Omri, you have to say Till rides more like Loris. Just a lovely touch on the bike. Till Alran putting that big commensal to work. And we can hear from Till Alran. He's down there with Ashley Wilmot now. What a run.
Till, huge congratulations. So many podiums so far in your career, but this is the first time you're at the very top. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I'm very happy to take the first win World Cup. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. In first podium of this year, I'm pretty happy.
Talk us through that run, because it was chaos for everyone, but you actually unclipped out there today.
Yeah, I'm pretty gnarly and I'm very happy.
You were faster than Jackson Goldstone was in qualifying yesterday. Where did you find that pace?
Yeah, I'm pretty cool, and that's the final. The rhythm is good. I'm pretty happy.
And talk to me about the conditions out there.
It's pretty dusty, and the track is gnarly. It's really the story.
It's always a competition between you and your brother Max. What's he said to you?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to take my brother, the podium. I'm pretty happy. 1 and 2, very happy.
Amazing stuff. Well done today.
Thank you.
Till Alran enjoying himself in the dust. Well, that second place from Max will be enough to maintain his lead of the overall points battle. Let's get confirmation now of the results from the UCI Downhill World Cup for the junior men here in Val di Sole, Trentino. And we have seen qualifying times from yesterday beaten now, meaning it's game on for our elite riders later this afternoon. A big moment in the young career of Till Alran, taking a win by half a second from his big brother Max. Asa Vermette third, Tyler Waite fourth, Oli Clark fifth. George Madley, Jonty Williamson. Williamson mighty through the bottom of the track despite already having had a crash. All the big teams represented at the top. Kasper Hickman for Cube Factory Racing had that mishap out of the gate. And the Alran brothers dividing those sectors up between them. Look at that. Half a second exactly between Till and Max on a track as savage as the Black Snake here in Val di Sole, Trentino. Max Alran leads away from Tyler Waite then, but just 30 points. Not much in it at the top. Till Alran up into third now. Asa Vermette in fourth.